This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs.
Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have the top 16 breakdown for PPG's 2K tournament that they had this past weekend at Tampa's TCGCon. This wasn't an official tournament, but it was a high player count, 180 players for this tournament, so I did want to cover it and go over the just the results for this top 16. Also, real quick, I did want to debut this for you guys. So we do also have an integration with DigimonCard.io, which is my sponsor, but I have been able to work my tournament results in there. So if you go to their page and hit the tournament results, it will have every tournament that I've covered in the past pretty much 2 months, and it will be continually updated with these videos too. So for example, you can go to Core TCG's webcam regional, has the archetype breakdown, has my video to it, and every single deck list. So if you want to see Jeffrey Ramirez first place MetalGaruru X, it is right here for you guys. So really good resource for people who are looking into it. This will be updated every tournament I do, and thanks to DigimonCard.io for hosting this. Also, it will include this today's video as well. It will go live at like 8 a.m. PST, so like an hour after this video goes live. But anyways, enough with that kind of stuff. Going over this tournament, we do have this top 16 with D-Brigade taking it with Edgard B's list, so that's going to be really exciting to look through for. And for the top 16, we had 3 Gaiomon, 3 MetalGaruru X, 2 D-Reaper, 2 Alphamon, 2 Grandis, an Ophanimon, an Angewomon X, a Beelstarmon, and a D-Brigade, which we said again won the tournament. So I think this is a really interesting tournament, a lot of variety to it. I do really like Gaiomon, so it's really cool to see it doing very well. Getting second place and 3 toppings into the tournament is great. And I don't really have much more to say. Let's just jump into the deck list with the first place D-Brigade. Starting off, we do have Edgar's first place at D-Brigade, and I've been saying this, I feel like, for the entire month, but D-Brigade is the best it's been since release, and it's been honestly a lot of fun to play, and really, really strong for kind of like a rookie rush deck. It kind of has like the duality of not only running like a bunch of good rookies that you can just consistently get a really good start to your game, and like a lot of good extenders like the Commandermon with the on deletion effect. You do just have a bunch of good security bombs too with the Chinkurimon, just DeathXmon living in security as a 15k is good. Darkdramon for a 3-cost rush to kind of help end the game too. And then a lot of just options and tamers. We got the Kongu, the Pride Memory Boost, the Iron Fisted Onslaught, the Ultimate Flare, and then again the Izzy and the Kazu, which I think Kazu is slowly becoming an MVP for this deck and in general. So very, very strong stuff you can do. And Ultimate Flare just disrupts a lot of stuff that can't be disrupted otherwise. Iron Fisted Onslaught can just pop a big boy very easily, and just easily playing at DeathX in this deck just to hard cast it because it's on color. You don't really lose anything to play it, and I think is very strong. So if you have not played D-Brigade in this format and you've played it in others, I highly recommend it. It's very good and it feels very strong. So congrats to Edgar for getting their finish with it there. Next up, we do have Cameron's Gaiomon, and I've been a huge fan of Gaiomon lately. There's just so many fun things, and with just the Agumon X, like I guess the X antibody package to go up for it, it really just kind of makes up for, I think, everything that was missing in this past format. So just the consistency you get with Agumon X, and to just get more card draw, which is very nice, into the Greymon X antibody, which lets it get your protection underneath your guys from blow up effects or just anything to prevent it from being deleted or turned to your hand or deck. So it pretty much cuts everything except for Chaos Degradation, which is very good there. You can Digivolve this on top of Greymon, and you can just get a blocker for free on top of this guy, which is nice, or just security attack for free on top of this guy. Metal Greymon is so much disruption, and it's such a good source for your cards too, which you can Digivolve on top of with the Metal Greymon X. You do have the Ultras mode as well, which can Digivolve for 1 on top of something. You can't go the X antibody on top of it because it has to be specifically a Metal Greymon X, so that is something, or just a Metal Greymon, so that's something just to note. But being able to delete one of your opponent's 4k or less with this devolution up can stop like memory blockers and stuff. And then the Black War Greymon and Gaiomon are both very, very strong cards too. I think this just says in its name too, so you can Digivolve Metal Gray into Metal Gray X, and then you can Digivolve this for 1 on top of it to get the bonus effects, which are kind of cool. Gaiomon 2 is just a big bully, especially when you have the Greymon underneath it and the Metal Greymon on 2, so it just can swing over things. It has Blitz, it has Security Attack +1, it has Reboot, it has Disruption, and it's all very good stuff. Being able to run Kongu because you're enough black to do it is nice, and then Black War Greymon can still do stuff, and Omnimon as well. So and then you run Cool Boy because why not? Cool Boy is very, very good. But I like this deck. I think it's a very strong spot, and I'm happy it's doing well. So congrats to Cameron on their finish there. Next up, we have Steven's third place MetalGaruru. I don't have a lot to say about this deck. I think it's very, very found out at this point. I think people are finding out what really makes it tick. Specifically, the promo where Garurumon being able to swing twice, and then with the battle protection off the Garurumon X antibody just means that you can pretty much guarantee you get that card draw off the promo Garurumon. And you can also boost this pretty high up with +2 or 1k off this Garurumon instead, plus another 1k here, and then your egg always plus 1k. So you can get a pretty confident 9k swing, which can live. And then you can also Wereguru X on top and get another swing, and you get the security attack +1 on this Wereguru. So just very, very strong. You don't really need to go into the MetalGaruru. I think in a lot of formats, I think just going into this and being able to swing twice with protection is just enough for it. And that's really all I have to say about it. It's blue with restanding and all the other stuff that does well, and it does very well. So congrats to Steven on their finish with this. Next up we have Luca's D Reaper, and I don't have much to say about D Reaper either. I'd say all of these decks are very, very understood at this point. I will say that probably Edgar's, this is kind of just a newer card in the deck in the meta, but it's still pretty good as well. And Mother's just on the tear, got 2 placements in this top 16. I think people are, this looks, I don't know, like 19 searchers, I think people were saying is enough. Starmons, if you like them, definitely run 3 Death X and 3 X antibodies because you carry, and you just go from there. So congrats to Luca on their finish. And then next up we have Joseph's 5th place Alphamon, in one of the lower places, at least top placing for Alphamon in an event at 5th recently, which is saying something. But I don't know, we've seen this, I don't know, I feel like I'm just repeating myself. We've seen a lot of this. We're pretty much late into this BT9 format, so we know what a lot of these deck kind of look like. Running the 3 Ariomon and 3 Alphamons with the Ryukin, pretty easy to get into this loop and get your effects off. 4 Doros, 4 Ryutas, and 2 of the Doramon, so 10 rookies here, but you do get to find cards off your Black Memory Boost, off your Kotos, and your Cool Boys, so it's not very difficult to find a rookie to start your chains with. And then you just, since you're building advantage with your Kotos, with your Black Memory Boost, and Cool Boys as well as getting the consistency from there, I think it really just makes sense. So obviously we don't have the security Durumon, but without it we're still pretty good. So congrats to Joseph on their finish. And then next up we have Tracy Harris's 7th place Grandis, and we are seeing most of these lists doing the same. There are some good ads that aren't added to others. So we do have like the Kuwagamon, which you have to digivolve for 1, but it does get a security attack +1 if you're level 6 Digimon, which is kind of nice, especially since you can digivolve on top of it for free with this guy, which I don't know, you could maybe do. We do have Argomons as vanillas, we have Terriermons, we have Lalamons, and then Tentomons too. Just play, look top 1. If it's a green Digimon, you get to add it to your hand, so that's kind of nice. Not a lot of misses on there, just 3 Mimis and 4 of the green memory boost, so it should hit a lot of the time, so it's nice. Weedmon, of course, Metal Kabuterimon, also the Sneemon as well. Security at the end of battle, play this card without paying its memory cost. And on play, it gets to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So I think this is nice. It just adds something to your security. It lets you rest something, as well as gets a level 4 out, which can help you build your chain if you're needing to find it. A lot of level 5s. We do have 4 of the Coolmons, the 4 X antibodies, and the 1 of the regular Coolmons, and then the standard kind of Grandis stuff there. So I like the little one as I like the personal choices, and congrats to Tracy for their finish there. Next up we do have Miguel's Ophanimon. I really don't have a better name for this. This is what PPG called Ophanimon. They called technically both these decks Ophanimon, but I thought this was more of like an Angewomon X, so I call it that one. I want to talk about both decks anyway, so I just gave a different name. But if you guys have a better name for these guys, let me know for it. This is all, I mean, like, it also just all blends in together, right? This is a lot of similarities to just a security control list outright too. Only running 6 rookies. We have the Gaiomon, which looks top 3 to add a yellow and purple Digimon, so you can add pretty much any of your guys. So you're probably only hitting 1 card on average anyways, just because there's so many not Digimon in your deck. Neo Devimon, which you can digivolve for 3 on top of this, are just hard cast for 7, and when your opponent plays a tamer, you get to gain 3 memory, so that's kind of nice. Ophanimon Fall Down, we can go on top of either. Magna Angewomon, most of the time, just because it's the yellow, you get to do that. Unfortunately, this is a 7k, so you can't bring it back with Flame Hell Scythe, but you can bring back the Gaiomon to digivolve the Neo Devi to go from there, which is cool. And then Death Exmon because it's a good card. 4 Holy Waves, 1 Reinforcing and Reduced, 2 Calling from the Darkness to recycle your pieces, and then just some Tamers to help you out. So it seems like a really interesting deck. It also has the Viximon as your Digi-Egg, so you can bring up, you can play like a Flame Hell Scythe to get an extra draw from it, so that's kind of nice. And yeah, I like this deck. I'd say it's like mostly like security control, but there are some like interesting touches that I think lets them like call it their own, which is really fun. And the next is George's 11th place Angewomon X. Again, it's on the kind of cusp of security control in a lot of ways, but there is enough of like the Angewomon package and Angewomon X, which is I think adds to enough to make it kind of your own thing. So we do have the on play, so you can Flame Hell Scythe for 6, get Angewomon out. On play, give something security attack -2, and then you can Digivolve on top to give something -1, and then if Angewomon are X antibodies in this card, you get to recover 1 as long as you have 5 or less, so it's pretty easy for you. And pretty much from there, just standard. It's almost like a Mastamon list too, but we're only running one of the older one, I suppose. We have the Avengekidmon, we have the 1 Death X, and then just a bunch of these yellow purple options to help you. We also do have the Maiko, so you may reveal top 3, add 1 purple or yellow Digimon among them, and then trash the rest. And all turns when you play a 2-color purple and yellow Digimon, you can suspend this to gain 1. So this is strictly only for playing the Gatomon, or I guess if you hard cast the Fall Down, but I guess that does make it 1 cheaper, which does help. And I guess the being able to help search and just have a permanent purple source if you need that is kind of good, even though you are already kind of purple base. But interesting choice there. And that's really all I have for this one. It's a really interesting list, but I'm happy it's doing well too. So congrats to George. And the last deck we're going to talk about is Beelstar, one of my favorites of this format as well. Even though it's not doing particularly good in the format, it does get some W's like it does for this one. So this is Devin's 15th place Beelstar. We do have the usual suspects of just not a lot of rookies, but I will say it's like purple, black, blue, which you're normally seeing with 3 of the Matashita. Just a tiny tamer. If your opponent has a Devin with no sources, you get to gain 1 memory. So this for cheap I think is kind of nice. Kakaya's Breath and Howling Crusher. I don't like Howling Crusher as much, but it is a 7 cost, so it does help you out there. And then we also have the Rebellion, which I think is an interesting add for the deck. It does get blocker and retaliation, which I think is a lot of decks might have a hard time getting rid of this, especially since Alphamon, even if you de-digivolve with it, you get to like it gets around the de-digivolve, it still gets popped, but if you de-digivolve, it still has block retal because it gains it. You know, the Rebellion inherently doesn't have it, so that's kind of nice. And like I used to run this when I used to play like the Gundramon as well, but even with just Beelstar, that kind of makes sense for it. So Viomon, some promotes, some scatter modes as well, and just pretty much standard stuff from there. None of the X antibody goodness that I like to add to it, but there are some cool adds to it. So I don't know, I like Beelstar. I think it has a really good matchup against a lot of things right now, so I'm happy it's getting a top 16 as well. Anyways, that's going to be the top 16 breakdown for me. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Make sure to check out the tournament report feature on DigimonCard.io. We put a lot of work into it, so I hope it is helpful for you guys to find these tournament breakdowns and some tournament winning deck list. And make sure to check out today's video's breakdown an hour after this video goes up. So again, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.